Welcome back to all of you who are awake. Had an extended break with the US holiday, but we are back. Unfortunately, though, with some frightening news. But first, let's talk about X. X has run into some legal trouble in Brazil. Brazil made the decision to block X, formerly Twitter, which stems from the platform's failure to comply with Brazilian legal requirements. Specifically, X did not appoint a local legal representative, a mandatory condition under Brazil law for all internet companies operating in the country. This representative, according to Brazil, is crucial for handling legal matters and ensuring the platform adheres to local regulations. Right off the bat, my spidey senses are already up. This feels a little bit like censorship. This feels a little bit like what happened in America in some of the years past. Let's keep reading. The situation escalated when X removed its existing legal representation after the Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexander de Moraes had previously threatened her with arrest. Okay, that's already sounding crazy. So you have a legal representative in your country for this service, and now that person is being threatened with arrest? Okay. This led to de Moraes to order the full suspension of X in Brazil until the company complies with the law by naming a new representative and paying the outstanding fines, which total approximately $3.28 million. The blocking order was upheld by a 5-member panel of the Supreme Court. This legal dispute is also entangled with broader issues, including concerns about misinformation and far-right content on X. Justice de Moraes has been involved in ongoing efforts to combat what he views as the platform's role in spreading harmful content, which further complicates the relationship between X and Brazilian authorities. Okay, I personally am getting really tired of this garbage like this. Freedom of speech doesn't allow for this. So if your country is corrupt, which clearly Brazil is, then you might be more on board with this. Then Brazil might be looking at this thinking, yeah, let's lock this crap down. Let's make sure that we have control over what's said and what's not said. You gotta trust the people to know what makes sense and what doesn't. If misinformation is being spread, you have to trust people to suss that out and make the decisions for themselves. As a government, when you start controlling people, that's how you further slide into communism or authoritarianism. This is ridiculous. I will be the first to tell you that I'm not the hugest fan of Elon Musk. I'm not against Elon Musk, but I do think, much like Trump, he says crazy things from time to time. One of them, in my opinion, forcing everybody to come back to work and just easily firing people because he felt like they weren't needed any longer without truly thinking about what the company needs. That said, I'm completely on his side with this one. You need to have that freedom of speech. All right, let's go to our daily polls. I'm working on a video talking about the Kamala Harris, in my opinion, sham interview. Not a great few weeks for the Democrats, but I'm going to cover that in an upcoming interview. Personally, I think she did an awful job. At this point, if you're voting based on your politics, so if you're more liberal leaning, if you're more progressive, and you have to vote that way, I completely understand that. But if you're looking at Kamala Harris and Tim Walz right now, based on what they've come out with and what they've talked about for policy, you just can't convince me that they're the right candidates for America. Right now, they're both coming across as complete idiots. Now, that could change. Let's wait for debate with Trump if they have that debate. And I will absolutely change my mind based on how well they do there. But right now, they're not answering any questions. And the few questions they do answer, their responses are atrocious. Speaking of that, looking at the polls, I'm still seeing this being really close, kind of a dead heat with Kamala actually still up on Trump a bit. It makes me wonder if how accurate these polls are. Seeing that really bad interview with Dana Bash, I would expect this to be a little bit closer together. And while, again, I'm not the hugest fan of Trump, but if you do watch the commercial that he's put on since that interview, I really thought that the polls would be down for Kamala, but we're just not seeing that. Topic of the day: Hamas ends the life of 6 hostages. Forces were close to finding those hostages, so instead of moving them or fleeing, leaving them, Hamas just ended their lives. Real people. I want you to think about that. For those of you who support Hamas, what if that was your daughter? What if that was your brother? At this point, I think it's absolutely sick and disgusting, some of the protests that we've seen supporting Hamas. I'm not for ending people's lives in general, and for the people that are caught up within Hamas that don't want to be in Hamas, absolutely, I feel bad for them. But at the end of the day, they are a terrorist organization, and this is really sad to see what's happening here. That said, Biden's still technically the president, right? So Biden, do you have something to say about this?
No.
That no is actually when Biden was asked if Netanyahu is doing enough. Certainly, this is an area I need to spend more time on, but at a surface level, this feels like the student who is bullied, and when they stand up for themselves, the teacher victim blames. I think what's really disturbing to me about this is how often Trump was called unpresidential. But Biden flying off the handle here with a simple comment, to me, is extremely unpresidential. This is something that needed more careful discussion. Even if you needed to go back and say, I need to look at this further, or I need to get into discussions with Netanyahu. But instead, no, Netanyahu's not doing enough. His country just suffered a hostage loss, and that's how you respond to this? It's pretty sad. But anyway, Biden stepped out of the next race, so I get maybe he's not really running the country. Why don't we go to our vice president nominee? What does Tim Walz have to say about this?
What's your reaction to the 6 hostages being found in Gaza?
Thanks, everybody.
Peace. I'm Audi 5000. Tim Walz has nothing to say about this. This is an absolute embarrassment. This person wants to be our next vice president, and he has nothing to say about 6 people who absolutely lost their lives to an awful terrorist attack. That is shameful. Not to mention that one of those people is an actual Israel, United States citizen. Okay, we have to end this on a positive note. Certainly Kamala Harris has something to say about this, current vice president, and wants to be our next U.S. president. Certainly she has something to say about this situation. Oh, okay, so you're on your phone, right? No, you're gonna stop. You're gonna stop and talk. You're just gonna keep. Okay, you're gonna keep go. You're not. All right, turn around. You're gonna turn around, or there's gonna be somebody on the plane that you're gonna talk to, or you're just gonna. Okay. All right. Bye, I guess. Okay, so put your comments down below. I really want to know what you think. And if you're about to vote for Kamala, you have to put a comment down here. I want to know why you're going to vote for Kamala after this. Let me know in the comments. All right. That said, I have a video on the left dealing with stuff from last week. If you want to learn more about Trump, I got a video on the right. Let's keep going.